This is the office of the Embassy of Nigeria on study tour on the Nigerian water resources. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Would you mind please telling our audience, introducing yourself?
I'm Professor Dimis Mailafia, Special Assistant Technical to the Honorable Minister of Water Resources in Nigeria. And I came here to represent Madam Minister, Mrs. Sarah Ren Ochekwe, who is the Minister of Water Resources.
So, would you mind telling us the reason for this talk?
It is a study tour of river basin development and water management. The Federal Minister of Water Resources, in line with the President Goodluck Jonathan transformation agenda, has been working very hard to transform the water sector in Nigeria. Now, of recent, the water master plan for Nigeria has just been signed by the executive, and before then we've been working, and now we will do more work in order to achieve the goal. And for that reason, because of the challenges of water management and the development of the river basin, and we had to come to the Netherlands. Of recent, we've been faced with the problems of flood in the Niger Delta and also in so many parts of the north. Even within the week, it was on the news about the damage of flood in states like Jigawa State. And so we needed to come here as a study tour to see how the Netherlands manages water. The choice of the Netherlands is based on the fact that about more than 50% of the land here is below sea level. You know what that means? That means that area is under, it's a prone flood area, and yet people are living there. And about 10 million people live in the flood area. So we want to study how do they manage that, how do they control the flood, and how do they manage their river basins, and what is their own water management like, so that we can learn from them. They've been to Nigeria, and so we've also come here so that we can have some things to learn.
All right. What would you think is the difference between the Nigerian water resources and the Netherlands or Europe in general?
They are more technologically advanced, so you can now see that they are on timely intervention based on the forecast that they have. They're a little bit ahead of us. And secondly, their own water management is a little bit different from us, because here they have a lot of private intervention. Now we went to so many of the organizations, like they have so many organizations that have been into the water sector. They told us that the investment in the water sector alone is 200,000 billion euro. The federal government of Nigeria is doing a lot. I just told you that so many dams are now being commissioned for the first time, even those that were abandoned in the previous regime. Some of them in the 70s, they never got completed. And the present administration is doing a lot. Some of the projects are being completed, some that were abandoned. A contract has already been awarded for their completion. And I think the transformation agenda is working.
Okay, and how about our universities, our schools in Nigeria? Do you think there's any role they can play for the upcoming future, for the children, for the students of Nigeria, to be able to have more interest in water resources or water management?
Oh yeah, you're right. But you see, then we need to have faculties and departments that are interested in those areas in our universities. We have over 100 universities, but we don't have enough of them specializing in water management, and especially with the challenges of sanitation and environmental problems. Yeah, there are some departments that study that, but we need more specialized departments. We have very strong universities in Nigeria, of course, but like we came here, we saw so many of the students coming here to read water management laws and then the rest of them, and some water engineering, hydrology, etc. We've met them, And I think our universities have the capacity to handle that. We have the personnel, we have the university structure, it is there, and the government is doing well, supporting the universities of recent. I think the first president to sit down with the university union in the annals of Nigerian. So I think we are moving forward.
Please, sir, would you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Well, I'm Professor Ibrahim Lal Bashir, a consultant on this subject, which is studied toward the Netherlands, on river basin development management. Well, as a researcher in the university, something I've been doing for the past 30 years, and examining the river basins, why they were put in place right from the beginning by the founding fathers in the middle 70s, and what we have invested in, what we expected from this investment, and 30 years or 40 years along the line. I was curious to know what actually went wrong, because up till today we have not been able to reap the benefits that our forefathers thought would reap from the river basin management in Nigeria. And so it becomes therefore very obvious to start to ask the question, what went wrong? And when in 2013 I chaired a workshop of the fountain waters, and a presentation was made on the experience of the Netherlands with river basin development, I felt that was an opportunity for us to explore. The opportunity of coming to the Netherlands, given what the presenter said about the Netherlands arrangement, would be able to learn from the Netherlands or exchange views with the people in the Netherlands on how to manage river basins. It fits perfectly into our own arrangement at home. And therefore we felt that there is something that we can learn from each other. It's a mutual benefit that we are attaining now. They've learned certain things from us, and we've learned certain things from them. And I really think these lessons are very important, because if you look at the investment that we made in the Nigerian River Basin and the goals that we wanted to achieve, and the fact that we are yet to achieve these goals, it becomes very imperative for us to start to look around for explanation as to why. First, our forefathers thought that by 20 years after the sinking of some of these dams, the river basins in Nigeria, Nigeria would have solved its food security problem. It was also believed that years after the establishment of these projects, the river basin projects, rural income would have increased. It was also expected that some years after this, there would have been job creation. But today you see the problems have become more compounded. Water security, food security is a far, far cry from what our forefathers expected. We are still net importers of food. We still buy food from even neighboring countries. And so this dream of the founding fathers has not been achieved. The employment that they envisaged would come as a result of the river basin is again a pipe dream. And so many things that our forefathers thought would come our way as a result of the river basin have not come. And so when this opportunity rendered itself to us, we felt, let's go to the Netherlands, because we were told that Netherlands, in terms of river basin management, in terms of water resources management, is one of the best in the world. And so we decided to come. And I think from what we've seen here, there's a lot that we have learned, and there's a lot that we can do to turn things around in Nigeria. I hope we would have the political will to do so in Nigeria.
Okay, so I'm particularly worried for the fact that up to this moment in Nigeria is one of the biggest economy in Africa, that Nigerian populace has not been supplied with pipe-borne water. What is actually the problem, and how do you think that such situation can be improved?
Yes, you are right. Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa by the recent rating. Nigeria has surpassed South Africa now, so it is the biggest economy in Africa. But in spite of that status of Nigeria in international ranking, we still have the problems we've just mentioned. Nigerians don't have water. And you ask yourself the question, why don't they have water? They don't have water because we have not actually developed water resources sufficiently enough to meet these demands. It's not enough to simply see water along the street as a flood and say we have water. It depends on what you're able to do to harness the water that is running on the surface of the earth as flood. We have not been able to do this in Nigeria. The dams are dying because they are aging. All of the dams have inbuilt capacity or lifetime span of 50 years, and they were sunk some 35 years ago, 36 years ago. That means, therefore, that they have just about 14 years to go, and the dams have silted up. And that's why when there is slight precipitation, runoff, the dams simply get filled up and overflow. So why do we allow this to overflow when Nigerians need water? Why don't we harvest this, even this rainwater? Harvest it. There are many ways of harvesting rainwater in this country, all over the world. There are many ways of harvesting the flood that is ravaging Nigeria today. Why don't we therefore do it in order not to in fact produce the raw water that could be used even in that form as agricultural water, let alone when you now harvest it and develop it so that human beings can drink. But we have these resources flowing all over the place and we're not doing anything. Why should we be doing this? Why should we be wasting this? I read a book, Wasting the Rain. And what the author said is, this water that we see every year during flood period can be trapped. We can build small earth dams around the big dams or along the flood-prone areas. And we'll be able to solve some of these problems. So sometimes harvest this flood water into the small earth dams. You can use them for irrigation purpose. You can use them for municipal water service. Transplant them into the water treatment plant in the cities. You have the raw water there. Work on them, process them, and make them potable. But we're not doing this. They are just wasting, and eventually, gradually into the streams that don't have high carrying capacity anymore because they've silted up. And the slightest precipitation, they just overflow their banks and splash all over the place, destroying houses and killing people. So we can develop our water resources. We have that sufficiently endowed and meet the water needs of Nigerians, both for agriculture and for sanitation. But we don't seem to be doing it. So the next thing to do for us, I think, is let's now start to be very ingenious. We see the water running, trap it. Use whatever form, whatever measure, trap this water. Keep it for a purpose, either agricultural purpose, either cooling purpose in industries, either for potable water, and we meet the Nigerian water needs.
My name is Joke van Dijk. I own a Dutch company. The name of the company is Van Dijk Water Management. And Van Dijk means dike, so sure, I must have been involved in water management. I started this company in 2007, and I've been working in Africa since the beginning of the 90s. Actually, first of all in North Africa, and gradually it's getting more southwards. So I'm very happy to present myself here and to tell you that it was a very big pleasure to present my paper in Nigeria last year. It was a paper on water governance, and I discovered that the organization in Nigeria for the water sector is actually there, but it still has to be implemented in a workable way, in such a way that all the people in Nigeria can get a better life. So to cut this short, we are happy that we could mutually organize a study tour of important Nigerian river basin management people to learn, and we learn from you, and I hope that we will see again in the future.
Okay, there are so many countries in Africa. How did you come about Nigeria specifically?
I visited Nigeria for the first time in 2009. I visited Akure for about 2 weeks, and actually it was first of all a private visit through Nigerian friends, but I was already looking for opportunities in the water sector. So from this I thought, okay, I must try to do more in Nigeria. And it lasted until last year that I was back there again.
Okay. All right, sir. Would you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Hi, my name is Mohammed Mustafa. I'm head of projects for Fountain Water Limited. Fountain Water is a Nigerian domiciled company. We started up with a group of 4 engineers that have studied abroad, and we started this company in 2010. So it's about 4 years now. So it's pretty a young company, but with a lot of potentials, with a very, very capable team of engineers from the United States, from Harvard, from Cambridge, and from Nottingham as well. So we are very passionate young chaps for water. We believe water is life, and the problems of water and the necessity of water cannot be overemphasized. So it's very, very important we all take a critical look at water in Africa, not only in Nigeria, but even sub-Saharan Africa as well, and see how we can proffer solutions to the myriads of challenges we are besieged in the water sector in Nigeria and all over Africa, hopefully. So basically, we had a seminar in 2013, which was last year. We organized a seminar, Fountain Water Seminar. The theme of the seminar was rethinking water, a critical resource. So that was what we did. So basically, the aim of the program was to invite key policymaker, to actually, enlighten them about the critical situations in the water sector in Nigeria, and it went so well. We had a lot of people from the ministry. We had a representative of the minister, Engineer Benson, who is the director of PPP project, water reforms, was there. We had Professor Bashir, who was one of the coordinator, and Van Dijk came from the Netherlands. And also we had another international partner, Mr. Mandic, came from Serbia as well. So it was pretty interesting. We had people from the academia, because we shouldn't leave students out of such critical issue like that. We had people from the National Assembly, from the Water Committee, water supply, the water supplies corporation, all the water sector in general came. So basically, after this seminar, so we actually decided to the result from the seminar yielded to this study tour in the Netherlands. So basically, we came together in collaboration with Fountain Water Limited, Van Dijk Management, and our consultant, Professor I.L. Bashir. So we came together and we decided to organize a study tour for the integrated Nigeria River Basin Management, and see ways forward how we can collaborate with the Dutch, because we believe the Dutch are one of the best in the world when it comes to water engineering.
That reminds me. How would you describe the Dutch water resources?
I think it's phenomenal. I think they're one of the most experienced in the world. They've been into the water game for over 3,000 years, and they had a lot of issues. For a country where they had a lot of issues then for a couple of floodings in the 1950s, and there was a place where you have the sea level is about is above the sea level about 50% of the whole country, and they're able to proffer very, very unique and astute solution. So we believe that they're one of the best in the world. They're able to overcome this critical challenge over the years, and even cities like Dubai are still learning from the Dutch on water. As developed as Dubai is now in the world, as popular, they learned a lot from the Dutch. So I think the Dutch capabilities in water is pretty amazing.
Okay, beautiful. What would you say so far has been a bit of an obstacle to this seminar, or this kind of seminars?
You mean especially between Nigeria and the Netherlands?
Yes.
Yes, I think it's all about organization. And I think for this study tour, we already prepared a proposal more than 1 year ago. And from that time on, especially more intensive from April this year, we almost continuously worked. And there are a few obstacles, I must say. On the Dutch side, it's about commitment of different organizations, because I represent, let's say, the water sector in the Netherlands. I have worked at the regional water boards. I have worked at the Ministry of Environment and Infrastructure. But as soon as you tackle them to cooperate in a study tour, working independently, they look at me and they say, okay, you are a small company and you want to organize something, and you want to organize something mutually with Nigeria. But we don't really have already a relation in the water field with Nigeria. It's only a brief relation. It's only starting. And in fact, it started, like Mr. Zanna said, from 2012 to come to a memorandum of understanding. And to be honest, my personal opinion is that it is a shame that the Netherlands didn't even attempt to work it out further and to sign it on both sides. From the side of the Netherlands, they say, oh yes, but the Nigerians don't really take decisions. So this is one of the obstacles. It's like a picture that people have in their minds about Nigeria. Then this visa issuing is coming, which is also complicated, because it's not in the hands of the Dutch foreign minister anymore, which is a pity. It's again a bit negative, because why are some of the visas not being granted while this is a high-level delegation? So in our hard work, we discovered that, oh my goodness, a week before, we could not get everybody aboard. So yeah, there are organizational obstacles, and let's say, what's the word? Pictures that we have of each other. Okay. And the only way we can overcome maybe a bit of negative emotions is to get together and to work together. Then we get to know each other, and I'm sure that we will get something being done also after this study tour.
All right, so you all have an intention of organizing more of these seminars?
Yeah, absolutely. This went pretty well. Thank God for that. And this is the first of its kind, to be honest, because we've been working on it for a very long time. So after this, we hope, and we did an evaluation. We did an evaluation with the participants, the MDs and the representative of the ministry. They're really amazed, and they really want us to carry on with this kind of program. They believe really this can go a long way to helping Nigerian water sector.
Okay, what have you guys got to say about African television? We have always been there each time the Africans and the Netherlands come together to organize things positive. And definitely we would want to hear your comment about our effort.
This is not the first time I'm hearing of African TV. I've seen your magazine. I've read a lot of programs organized in the Netherlands by African countries, not only Nigeria, many African countries. I've seen all the capable organizations and capable meetings you'll be able to collate together and aired on TV to create awareness about all African countries, as well as Nigeria, as well as even beyond Africa. So this is an incredible idea, and we really like to thank African TV for this opportunity to visit us here at Nigerian Embassy to discuss about the study tour we organized. So we hope the sky is the limit for you guys. Thank you very much.
I would like to add that I met African TV at the meeting of the NABC, which stands for the Netherlands African Business Council. They were even invited now also, but they couldn't make it. I met the African TV there, and I think that the goal to spread African news that's been occurred in the Netherlands to other African countries is a very good idea. A very good idea to further on develop our plans together, develop our goals together to create a better world. So I want to thank African TV very much to have been able to make this program today. Thank you very much.
My name is Abazana. I'm head of Chancellery of the Embassy of Nigeria here in Den Haag.
Beautiful. How do you feel about this gathering today, this meeting? or seminars, we may call it?
Well, it's heartwarming. It's very, very important. Netherlands' expertise on water management is known all over the world, and it's glad that our people from Nigeria are learning from the best practices of the Dutch people. The Dutch people are involved in 40% of water projects across the world. So for Nigeria to come to Netherlands to learn from their best practices, I think is a welcome development.
Okay, well, how would you describe the Nigerian water resources at this point in time?
Well, we have a volume of water. We have so many river basins. We have Sokoto River Basin, the Chad Basin, the Anambra River Basin. I think we have about 12 river basins that needs to be utilized effectively. Utilized is going to generate a lot of employment to our people. It's going to enhance food production, So it's there for us to capitalize on it.
Okay, actually, African television is from the Den Haag. From the reports we've had, the embassy of Nigeria here has been so fantastic. The ambassador has been doing a great job for the Nigerian community and also for the African community. Would you tell us why the ambassador is not present in this meeting?
Well, ambassador traveled outside the shores of this country on official duty. She actually made arrangement to receive the delegation in person, but due to exigencies of duty, she had to travel outside the shores of this country, so she asked us to represent her.
This study tour is especially meant for the river basin authorities. There are 12 river basin authorities in Nigeria, and we are happy that some of them are on the table today. We were supposed to have a bigger group today, but due to visa restrictions, it didn't work this time. But I'm sure from the first attempt, there will be more attempts. And yes, on my behalf, I would say that this week, which is not even finished today, but we extended it a bit until tomorrow. It was interesting. It was interesting to organize, and I hope that the Nigerian delegation found it also very interesting, and we have been exchanging ideas, especially today in the meeting with the the Netherlands Water Partnership, ideas about future projects. So we really hope that we can collaborate on concrete and small steps to help each other. Not only that we help Nigeria, but Nigeria can also help us to have a good water management in the future. Thank you very much.
I am Professor Dimis Mailafia, SA Technical to the Honorable Minister, here representing the Honorable Minister on this trip. Just like Professor Bashir mentioned, it is an exchange tour visit. The fountain water and some of the groups came to Nigeria, presented beautiful papers. We had a meeting with them at the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. We shared some ideas. A follow-up of those ideas was to come for this study visit. We've been coming here and some other countries, mainly for conferences. The conference situation doesn't give the atmosphere to see some of the things. People will just gather there, present papers, this is what we have. But the study tour afforded us the opportunity to see things the way they are. And the idea is to see how we can move forward in the water sector. The management of water itself, we've seen how it is done here. And the control of flood, which has become a major challenge also in Nigeria. We all know what happened in 2012. And even within the week, there has been reports of flood in some parts of the country. Like it was in Jigawa about 2-3 days ago. It was in the news. And the Niger Delta area is also an area that is prone to flood. So it is also incumbent then to come to the Netherlands because this is a place where more than 50% of the area is below sea level. And if people are still living there, they begin to wonder how they manage the water. And I think if you're talking about water management, I think this is the best place to learn water management. And we've learned so many new things, new approach, like more room for the river. And I think it has been a very wonderful trip. And I think the MDs that are here from the river basins will have also a story to tell. We thank you so much for what you are doing here, representing us in the Nigerian embassy. Just like Professor Bashir mentioned, it is important that we cannot come here and just go without visiting the embassy. To be appropriate, because this is an official delegation on behalf of the entire country. And so we came here to pay a courtesy visit and to thank you so much for what you are doing. And the country is, the transformation agenda of Mr. President is on course. And this is part of it, because you can see so many actions being taken. We need to put all our heads together wherever we are to contribute to our own quota, what we can do for the country so that we can move forward. Thank you so much.
On water management, I think it captures most of the issues that my senior colleagues have just said. With your permission, I would like to mention some things, sir. The 2012 flood disaster in Nigeria and the resultant socio-economic consequences that engulf the affected communities is enough justification for Nigeria to start thinking of how to benefit from the water management expertise and best practices of the Netherlands. Flood control is one of the areas of specialization of the Dutch. The Netherlands is low-lying and densely populated delta situated below sea level, with three major European rivers conveying and flowing into the North Sea. As a result of this, the country had experienced a major flood disaster in 1953, which killed almost 1,830 people and rendered almost 70,000 people homeless. This strategy strengthened the country's resolve through innovation to forestall future reoccurrence of such a calamity. Today, the Netherlands is peerless in water management, and the experience of 1953 has breeded a generation of experts who help in solving water-related problems around the world and involved in almost 40% of water projects worldwide. During the Dutch coastal defense system, among other, consists of construction of dikes, flood embankment, early warning system, land reclamation, and delta project, which is considered as one of the most revolutionary hydrological projects in the world. Many developed and developing countries are tapping from the Dutch expertise in addressing their water-related problems. When the USA city of New Orleans was hit by Hurricane Katrina in 2005, leading to widespread loss of life and enormous damage, the Dutch expertise was sought on how to reinforce and build a storm barrier. The same applies to Australia, China, Egypt, Mozambique, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and Vietnam, among others. It is in recognition of this singular position, the United Nations Secretary General appointed William Alexander, now the King, of the Netherlands as the chair of the Secretary General Advisory Board on Water. It is not surprising that the country can boast of over 2,000 companies, research institutes, and government agencies specialized in water-related subjects, employing over 80,000 people that guarantees turnover of billions of euros. The recurring flood disaster by climate change and other activity of man along the coastal community in Nigeria is becoming worrisome, especially with the prediction by Nigeria Meteorological Agency that 12 states will experience floods in 2013, that's last year. In view of the foregoing, it is humbly recommended to explore the possibility of establishing MOU on integrated water management between Nigeria and Netherlands. That was a report we wrote in 2012. So the expertise of Netherlands on water-related management has been noticed by the embassy a long time ago. Okay. And we have made several recommendations. And the Honorable Minister was here in March, I think, Professor Yauta, during the Nigeria-Netherlands Investment Forum. I know she had made a couple of contacts. She has spoken with her colleagues on how to establish a working relationship between Nigeria and the Netherlands, on how to relate in solving some of the water-related problems in Nigeria. I think as a result of the visit from the minister and some other experts on water-related matters from Nigeria. Today we have some Dutch companies engaged in solving water-related problems. Especially we have one company in Lagos engaged in this eco-coastal city, the Atlantic City in Lagos. We also have a couple of the Dutch companies working in Bielsa and some other coastal areas. So I think your visit to Netherlands is a very, very good decision. Nigeria has a lot of things to learn from the Netherlands. Mention on the issues of the river basin. Coincidentally, I attended my secondary school in Gama Secondary School, Newmarket. That's where Chad Basin is located. I've seen how we used to irrigate weeds, tomato, rice, and so many other things in those days, some years back. But today, the water has disappeared completely. It's about 20% of its original volume. The water has gone away because of environmental issues and some other man-made factors. Here in the Netherlands, see water is channeled to every corner, almost everywhere you go, you see water, and people are making best use of the opportunities that they found. So I think Nigeria is going to learn a lot from the Netherlands. And, it's good that the embassy is now involved, so that whatever is the outcome of this your seminar, maybe if you can avail the embassy formally, so that for subsequent follow.
On the side of the Netherlands embassy in Lagos, in Nigeria, is also involved.
Okay.
Also, they were also in the background involved in this study tour, so they helped us also a lot. So they are also very interested to bring the cooperation further. Okay, so it's very good that the embassy is involved. Normally, when we are having maybe a high-level visit, maybe at the level of the president, the embassy will be asked to write a brief. So these are some of the issues that we are going to highlight in the brief, that this is the existing relationship between Nigeria and Netherlands on issues on water. Subsequently, they'll bring it at the highest level. So we don't know how it's going to end up. I think it's going to be of interest and of mutual benefit to our two countries. So on behalf of the ambassador and my colleagues here, I wish to welcome you to the Netherlands. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
There are some of us who are still back home in Nigeria and who would have loved to be here, but for visa difficulties. I wonder if we can put this request to the embassy here to solicit your support in securing visa for this particular project, for the obvious reason that this is a very important study tour. If there was no visa problem, it would have been about 12, about 20. But so they encountered a lot of difficulties in getting their visas. In fact, we are still expecting the people from Kano, from the Hadeji-Jamari River Basin Development Authorities, and some people from Wena, you said? Yes. And so we hope they will be able to get the visa, and so we are soliciting your support to please put in a word or so with the necessary authorities to facilitate the issuance of the visa.
It's possible, sir. Not the embassy received information about this program from this is Joke Dai. I think when we received.
Her name is Joke. She's a Yoruba woman now.
Yes, I will come to that. When I saw it, I was asking the accountant, the meaning of jockey. So I was thinking I'm going to see a Yoruba lady, but I have the outfit. So he told me jockey means nurturing something together. I asked the accountant this morning. So he was telling me the meaning of jockey in Yoruba. So but actually, when the embassy got information about this, the program, it was almost late to make any meaningful intervention. But in future, the embassy can get prior notice of this event.
Okay, yeah.
We can make an official request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here, then they will send a letter to the French consulate in Lagos or the Belgium embassy in Abuja, so that it will facilitate the issuance of visa for those that are attending the event.
And very soon, sir, on the base watch website, very soon she's going to have to make this request to you formally, because there are some people who still want to come, and we are arranging a visit for another batch of people for the first week of December. So probably you liaise with the embassy.
Yes, of course, yes.
To make sure that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. My name is Mohammed Mustafa, Fountain Water Limited consultant here, organizing the study tour in collaboration with Van Dyke Management and Water Management and Professor Bashir. On this note, without wasting further time, I would like to thank most especially, Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Nigeria to the Netherlands, Dr. Mrs. N.N. Akambi. Would like to thank her and this entire staff of the embassy, Mr. Zana, for this hospitality and this huge reception. It's amazing that it was quite short notice, and despite the fact everything came from a short notice, they still had time despite their busy schedule, they still had time to host us, and we had a very, very wonderful reception. Thank you very much for your help and all the staff. And also I would like to thank the delegates and the representative of the minister as well. Thank you very much for coming for this study tour program, and we hope we've learned a lot, and we can foster a lot of collaboration with the Dutch counterparts. And also when we get back to our various offices, we'll be able to profile solutions to our emerging problems in the river basin and the water sector generally. So thank you very much, the participants. Thanks very much, our Dutch friends as well. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. We've learned a lot. And we hope everybody at the end of this study tour, when we're going back, we wish them a very safe journey back home. Thank you very much, and hope to see you guys next year again, God's willing. Thank you.